Okay, so I am super excited. Sorry, I'm just multiplying, doing the things. I am super excited. This is the first time I'm going live, showing off the new Chemistry Coach AI Tutor Hybrid. So what I'm hoping to do in this live is just show you guys what it can do and obviously the benefits of it over ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, whatever other AI you might be using to help you with your A-level chemistry. Okay, because that's what I do. Specialize in A-level chemistry. All exam boards really, but Chemistry Coach right now currently is for AQA, OCR, and WJEC, so in Wales. Okay, so in basically in real terms, those are the three major exam boards in the UK. Okay, very few people kind of do EdExcel. I wanted to do WJEC because I'm based in Wales, and the lack of WJ resources outside of WJ is seriously lacking. So I really want to help students in Wales as well. So this is the Chemistry Coach AI. So right now I've got WJ, AQA and OCR. Now the benefit of this over ChatGPT, generally speaking, is that it's an expert in your exam board. Think of ChatGPT like, let's just call it like generic AI, all right? So generic AI, yes, knows everything, okay? But that's the problem. It goes beyond the scope of your exam board, okay? You ask it about, okay, let's say, what mechanisms do I need to know for my AQA A-level chemistry? It will kind of look up AQA A-level chemistry, but it'll end up giving you stuff you don't need to know. Okay, so it's like asking a chemistry expert. Okay, so imagine this, a best expert in the world, but that expert doesn't know what's on your exam board. So it basically just answers in the best way it knows how, and that's to give you all the information. Okay. That's not useful to us. That's why I built Chemistry Coach AI. It's an expert in your exam board. It has access to all of my notes, all of my videos. So those will just get put in the stream when you answer when you ask it questions. So if there's a video on it, it will pop that up. If there's a resource on it, like a worksheet or some flashcards, that'll put those in there as well. So it's got all, generated resources from me. So that's why it's an AI tutor hybrid, because it's using my notes, my expertise of the last 20 years, and all my resources all housed into the AI. Not only that, but it knows every single exam question that's ever been asked. So in that respect, it is a hugely, massively impactful resource. Because if you ask it to write questions for you, it doesn't just ask generic chemistry questions. It uses the past exam papers to formulate new questions, ask them in the style of your exam board. So you can ask it to make yes multiple choice questions, yes exam style questions, and so on and so forth. But it's all done in the style of your exam board, limited to what you do need to know and what you don't need to know, okay? Oh, thank you, Nadia. Hi, Nadia. How are you? I do try my best. I absolutely try my best. So thank you very much for that. I really, really appreciate it. So yeah, all my expertise. Thank you, Nadia. All my expertise kind of rolled into this, okay? So all my advice and stuff as well, on how to revise different topics. But the reason it's so good, like I say, is it knows all the past exam questions. You can even get it to write an entire new paper one for you. Okay, it'll be balanced. Some questions will be harder, some questions will be easier. It does balance things very, very well. So what you have access to with Chemistry Coach is this kind of unlimited question pack. So no longer scrabbling around for different question packs and predicted papers and things like that. It can actually kind of predict what's going to be in the next paper as well, because it knows the balance of questions and it knows what topics has been and when. I mean, it can give you like so much information. So let's say AQA, I can ask it like, what is the most commonly examined physical chemistry topic for A-level? Okay, so we'll just pop that in there and see what it comes up with. So whilst it's looking, and it does take a little bit of time, okay, because it's looking through all its resources, it's doing the calculations, it's going to come up with basically a true and accurate kind of representation of exactly what's in there. Okay, so just kind of zoom in on this a little bit. So most commonly examine physical chemistry topics, calculations and mole concept. I mean, of course, right? Yes, I mean, they're everywhere, right? Thermodynamics, Hess's law on both papers, kinetics, equilibria. Why these topics dominate. Paper distribution tells you what's on there. I mean, let's go deeper. Let's go, okay, so the top one there, apart from mole calcs, is thermodynamics. So how many marks on average are on thermodynamics in paper 1? Okay, because it's in paper 1, let's just ask it that. So essentially, what it's doing is just looking through, and it can give you a guide. You can ask it to like give me the top 3 in terms of percentages, and it will absolutely do that for you. So there we go. So it tells you how many marks are in year by year, on average, how many marks, range between 9 and 21. So what you can do is, if you like playing the law of averages, okay, in terms of what topics to focus on, then you can absolutely do that. Okay, so it will show you, okay, these are the most important topics to revise, and these are the typical exam questions that they ask. Okay. Oh, interesting message from TikTok. It contains unoriginal or reproduced content. How am I unoriginal? I'm literally talking now. Anyway, shush your face. So that's what it'll do for you. But equally, obviously, if you want to learn, it's built to tutor you. Okay. So I don't know. Let's go over to OCR. Okay. So explain to me how electrophilic, if I can spell it, addition works. Let's go. So the other benefit of this over, let's say, generic AI is that there's images involved as well. It's purely text, okay, for generic AI. But of course, what this does is I've basically uploaded images from the notes that I've written, okay. And there we go. Okay, so it gives you the mechanism that you need to know for electrophilic addition. Of course, there's HBr, okay, which makes a mono haloalkane, and then we've obviously got a dihaloalkane produced when we add the bromine. So there are other ones as well for OCR, hydrogenation and hydration, which are important. We don't need to know the mechanisms for those. So it hasn't given us the mechanisms for those. So it is really truly exam board specific, this, okay? It then goes on to Markovnikov's rule. And if you want to know more about that, we can ask it. So key points for exams. I mean, look at that. Exam advice as well, all based off mark schemes, okay? All based off the recommendations from examiners over the years. You know, absolutely 100% to OCR. So tell me more about Markovnikov's rule. That's not how you spell it. It only works well if you spell Markovnikov's rule. Okay, so we can find out a bit more about that. So obviously you can take notes from this. You can copy and paste them into a document yourself, or indeed you can just obviously write them down, old school pen and paper. So what it's doing now, it's basically telling you what the rule is, why it happens, what the trend is. Okay, so the stability of the different carbocations as part of the mechanism. So you can see, you know, this carbocation in the middle here. It's telling you, right, okay, the tertiary is most stable, the primary is least stable. That's the reaction. Okay, so classic example there, and 2 pathways. And look, there's my video on major and minor products. Okay, so if you want to watch the video, you can literally watch it straight in the chat. Okay, and that'll come up, and I'm going to talk you through a worksheet essentially on how to answer the different questions that you're going to get on Markovnikov's rule. When alkanes undergo electrophilic addition, be quiet, Rich. And there you go, a step-by-step method on how to answer those questions as well. So let's say I want some questions on this. Okay, so write me a typical question, a typical exam question on this. Let's go. So again, what it's doing is, because obviously it knows the spec inside out, it knows the scope of the spec, then of course it knows like previous exam questions that have been asked as well. Okay, so again, what it's doing, it's thinking, there you go. So we've got a multi-layered question there, just like an exam question. literally laid out like OCR would have it. So 1A part I and II and so on and so forth. And then of course it gives you the model answers there. Now this brings up an important point. Obviously it can give you images that I've given it, as part of its explanations and part of its tutorials, it will give you images, but what it can't do is generate images, okay? Nobody, and I mean nobody, has developed an AI yet that if you say, show me the formula for, I don't know, dibromo pentanoic acid, all right? It can't do that. ChatGPT can't do that. So, when it does want to write a formula, it will give you the structural formula, which is the best it can do. And, that's still pretty handy. Okay, so that is a limitation of AI, not a limitation of Chemistry Coach. All right, so it can't draw organic molecules, but AI's got its limitations. But you know what we've got here is pretty damn good. Okay, so let's think of something else. If anybody who's watching has got a question they want me to put in here, if you're doing WJ, OCR, AQA, literally, I want you guys to help me put it through its paces. So if you do want me to put something in here, obviously chemistry related, then pop that in the chat, and I'll absolutely do that. So one other thing it can do, and let's go to WJ for instance. Let's say you want some multiple choice questions. So let's say write me, I don't know, 20 multiple choice questions on ionization energies. Let's see what it comes up with. So obviously these will range in difficulty. It doesn't just give you like, I don't know, an actual answer and then some random easy ones. Okay, they are difficult questions that it sets because again, it's all based on previous questions that you got on the that you get in the exams. So do I do GCSE? I do not. I mean, I do tutor some GCSE personally, but Chemistry Coach is right now only for A level, I'm afraid. Okay, so that's just for A level right now. So 20 multiple choice questions asking you about equations, what the trends are, which has got the highest first ionization energy in period 2. So it's really putting you through your paces, really varied questions. And of course, right at the end, it gives you not only answers, but explanations as well. Okay, so no more kind of looking at the mark schemes. Okay, the answer's B. I got D, but the answer's B. Be like, I don't know why. I don't know why the answer's B. But actually, that is something else you can do with this as well. Okay, so let's go back to AQA for this one. Let's say I need help with question 2.1 on paper 3, 2023. Okay, so actually, to be honest, I don't know what that question is, okay? But it does, all right? So if you're going through a past paper or you've got a piece of homework or something, it will absolutely help you. And I've basically designed this not to just give you the answer, okay? So if you want help with a particular question, what it does first is it analyzes the question, then it comes up with an explanation. And that explanation is based on obviously my experience. So what it'll do rather than give you the answer is help you answer it first, then of course give you the answer. Okay, so if you just want help with it, and I recommend that you do because it's no different to a mark scheme, this can explain why the answer is and how you get to the answer. Okay, so the question analysis is here. Draw the display formula of an unbranched isomer of pentan-2-ol. This must be dehydrated to form a single alkene. So step 1, understand pentan-2-ol, draw the structure of it. Think about position isomers, consider the dehydration requirement, and then of course the answer at the end there. So you can see what it's doing. It's giving you the opportunity to get a little bit of help, a little bit of advice, almost just literally just like having a tutor sat next to you going, well, actually, rather than, they don't just tell you the answers, they explain what the answer is and how to get to the answer. And that's what this is doing. Now, I can't show you right now because I haven't got anything kind of lined up for this, but actually in the bottom corner down here, okay, if I zoom in even more, see that little paperclip there? Okay, that is where you can upload images or PDFs or whatever of your homework, and it will do the same thing. I mean, I don't recommend giving it the entire homework, but if you're stuck on a question, bang it in here, upload it, say, I need help with this. It will again analyze it, guide you through it, okay? Rather than just giving you the answer. Of course, if you just want the answer, then yes. But then that's not the point of AI, is it? AI is here to better us, to make our lives easier, to help us. It's not here to do things for us, okay? I think that's where, from my experience, a lot of students are using it wrong. They're using it to kind of like, okay, help me, give me the answer for this or give me the answer for that. And that's okay, but you're kicking it down the road. You're not actually learning anything that way, are you? So that's why I designed this, to help you get to the right answer, to help you figure out how to answer questions rather than just giving you answers. Because like I said, it's no better than the mark scheme in that respect. What website am I on? My website, chemistrycoach.co.uk. So you can go there. You can access like a trial version of this if you want to. It's limited to like certain topics. So if you tell it what exam board you're on, then it will say, okay, I can help you with these topics. So fill your boots. It will also answer questions about what you get as part of a subscription. And it is just a one-off payment for subscription. Okay. So right now, okay, before Christmas, it is £99 for the entire year. It gets you access until the end of your exams, beginning in July, essentially. And you can use that as much as you want. Obviously, T's and C's apply, but essentially it's yours to use. It is just your personal tutor, literally in your pocket, 24/7. Okay, and it's there to help you answer questions. It's here to test you. It's here to actually help you study. It's here to be a study partner as well. Okay, so it will basically just help you with any question you like. Now, what else it will do, and this is like, I think just, I don't know, kind of insane in terms of what it'll do for you, is, how can we put this? It will, A, write a paper for you, but B, it will be an examiner. It will mark a paper for you. Okay, so let's say you do this. Okay, so let's say I haven't got a set of results. Okay, but if I upload my marks for what did I say up here? Paper 3 2023. Question by question. Can you give me a list of topics to focus on based on what I got wrong? Okay, so if you do a past paper, timed exam conditions, best practice for chemistry, and you're like, okay, well, I've got the marks, all right, and I know what I got, but what does that tell me? What do I do based off the back of that paper? So if you just go in here and, I'm gonna maybe kind of, for all members, I'm gonna send out like maybe like a Google sheet with all the questions on, like mark by mark by mark, and all you have to do is type in what marks you got. That makes it easy just to kind of upload it in here, because it is a bit of a job, like 1.1 I got this, 1.2 I got this. So I'll do that, and you can upload it in here, and let's just see what it says. I mean, obviously it's not going to do it because I haven't given it results, but at least it's going to tell us what it can do. So here we go. So happy to analyze your paper 3 2023 question by question, what it needs. Question 1, your marks and total marks. They'll give you feedback, and it'll give you feedback in terms of a priority topic list. Sorry, I'll just zoom in a bit. Priority topic list, ranked by how much improvement you need. Different weak areas and specified subtopics. What question types you should practice more. So is it the calculations? Is it the recall questions? And then a revision strategy. That's what else I've designed it to do, is say, if you tell it what you want to revise and how long you've got, it will come up with a revision schedule and all the resources you need in order to do that. Okay, so let's go back to WJ. Okay, so I have a mock exam in 2 weeks' time. I'd like to do 1 hour per day revision. The topics are 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, and 1.5. Okay, so let's say you're doing a mock, it's only like a part paper or something like that. So let's go put together, I'm just going to be vague on this, put together a revision plan for me. So I've told it what I need to do, when the exam is, so how long I've got, and what topics I want to revise. Okay, so off we go. Now again, if anybody's watching and you're doing one of these exam boards like OCR, AQA, EdXL, OCR, AQA, and OCR, AQA, and WJEC, my apologies. If you're doing one of those, if you want to ask it something, ask me now. I'll type it right in, okay, as long as it's obviously chemistry related. So 14-day mock exam revision, topics overview. Okay, so week 1, foundation building. Okay, so it's literally given us a plan. I've told it I've got an hour a day, like this is what I want to do. Week 2, more exam practice. So see what it's doing? It's building your fundamental knowledge, getting you to revise certain areas. And then week 2 is all about question practice. So again, it's using my experience and what a tutor would do with you in order to kind of get the most out of it. Okay. So study structure, essential resources. So what it's doing is it's linking to notes, flashcards and question packs that I've written as well. My exam insights, important reminders. So let's talk about the notes for a sec, actually. So essentially the notes are here for you to kind of be able to download. So it's just loading those up. Okay, so it's loading up the actual notes for this, which you've got access to as part of Chemistry Coach. You can download all of these notes, and here they are, just in all their glory. Like, this is what you need to know, let's say, for ionization energies. Okay, of course, you do have access to the entire book on the website as well, so all the practical guides and so on and so forth. Okay, so the other benefit of this is, like, when I wrote this, okay, so I've written the entire book for the whole specification. I wrote it not just based on the specification, but based on exams as well. So the notes aren't just it is all the facts that you need to know and all the explanations you need to know, but it's also based on the typical questions that get asked year on year on year. Okay, so it's phrased in the way that the questions are phrased. The explanations are phrased in the way the mark schemes want you to phrase them. So it's not, it's insanely, dare I say, it's insanely better than the actual textbook because it stays up to date. Every year, new exam comes out. I see the exam. I'm like, oh, that's a new way of asking that question. It goes in the notes. So it's 100% kind of up to speed, up to date with the most, relevant exam questions that you get asked year on year on year. So again, if anybody wants, ask the question, maybe you've got a mock coming up and you want some guidance, that's absolutely fine. Then, or if you just want some general advice from me, hit me up while I'm here, So what we've got, obviously, right through the course, right through the book, you've got these QR codes as well. That should work if you scan it now, but you can click this, okay, straight from the PDF, or you can scan it on your phone and it takes you to the video on how to answer ionization energy questions. Okay, so that's all kind of, linked inside the course. If you kind of scan that now with your phone, then you're probably using your phone right now to watch this maybe, but if you scan it with your phone, it'll show you on your phone, okay, and you can use that kind of dual screen if you're looking at this on a desktop or a laptop or something like that. So do hit me up if you have any questions. I'm just going to take a sip of tea. I'm going to scoot off shortly, but let's go back to our revision plan. Okay, so in our revision plan, where are we here? Okay, nope, that's not the one. This one was our revision plan. So, okay, so day 1, formulae and equations. We need to review balancing equations, ionic equations and state symbols, practice writing formulae for compounds and ions. Okay, so it's told me to do that. So you're like, okay, cheers. How do I do that? What do I do? So I would just go, okay, day 1. Zoom out. Okay, so day 1. No. Helps if you type things. Day 1. Give me some practice questions to test my skills. All right, because obviously balancing equations, writing formulae is all about skills. You've got to know how to do that. So what it's doing now is like it knows what it's told you to do. You're saying, all right, give me the stuff. Give me the stuff I need to do. Okay, give me the questions. So here we are. Question 1. Okay, write the formula of the following compounds, balance these equations, complete the ionic equations, write balanced equations for these worded ones. Okay, so obviously exam boards love those. Give you the equation in words and you need to write it out as a chemical equation. A student writes this equation, identify 2 errors, write the correct balanced equation, write the formulae for the following ions. So, you know, it really is kind of putting you through your paces. And, you know, it gives you all the answers, of course, as well. Okay. Now, again, if any of those answers don't make sense to you, you know, like question 1, what's the formula of calcium chloride? I can go, okay, so why is 1A CaCl2? Like, maybe, I don't know, how did you get CaCl2? Like, what's the reason for that? Okay, and what it'll do is go through an explanation and help teach you, like, why is the formula this? You know, why is this CaCl2 and not CaCl? So there you go, calcium's in group 2, so it forms Ca2 plus ions, chlorine's in group 7, so it forms 1, and it goes to show, like, how to do it. Okay, so there's one method there where the net charge and we're cancelling the charges, but of course there's also the swap and drop method. And look at that, there's even a picture of how calcium chloride is formed based on the ions as well. Okay, so any questions, folks? Whether it's generic chemistry, if you want me to put a question into the AI for you, like I said, if you've got a question, I just want you guys to put it through its paces. Obviously, you know, I kind of know all the answers, so it's difficult for me to suggest different things you might be struggling with. So in the comments, guys, any questions on anything A-level chemistry, anything at all right, just put them in the chat. Put this heater on, purely because it's blooming cold in here. So what else can we do with this? Well, what about if I go to AQA, okay, and this is the acid test. This is absolutely the acid test. So let's say give me all the formulae and colours of the transition metal complexes that I need to know. All right, you can tell generic AI, Gemini, ChatGPT, till you are blue in the face what your exam board is. I guarantee you it will not get this question right in a million years, okay? Because it's just not specific enough, all right? So we got iron 2, we got our iron 3, we got our copper 2, yes, we got our manganate, yes, okay? So these are the ones we need to know for essential ones for AQA. Colourless complexes, it even goes into exactly why complexes are coloured and why they're not. Is it Fe2 plus, Fe3 plus, and Cu plus? Chelate effect example, okay, so you do need to know that for AQA. A few memory tips. I mean, I don't know whether this is useful, but Fe2 plus, think green team. Yeah, that's just AI being AI. That is not me, that one, okay, folks. I'm not kind of taking that on the chin. But actually, Fe3 plus, brown, rust, yeah. So just a few memory hooks, maybe just a few ideas there for you, okay. So we've got those, which is absolutely awesome. So if it wanted to, you could ask it to make flashcards for you, right? So if you want to revise those colours and complexes and formulae and so on and so forth. So what else can we ask it to do? What do we generally do when we're revising chemistry? Things that are kind of complex to understand. Okay, so in WJEC, you guys need to understand emission spectroscopy. That's one of the trickiest parts of the atomic structure. Okay, so you can ask it like, okay, I really don't understand emission spectroscopy. can you explain how it works in very simple terms so that I understand? Take it step by step. Let's say it's something you really don't understand. So like take it step by step and ask me questions after each step to test, to make sure that I understand. So what we're doing here is going, you know what, I have zero clue. My teachers taught it and it was like, it may as well have been in a completely different language that I don't understand. Okay, so like literally just talk me through it. So let's see what it does. I have never asked it this before, but you can get it to teach you in certain ways. Like if you want to take it slowly, step by step, that's great. It won't do well if you go, teach me everything in 2.1. All right, it's just go, oh, okay, and then just give you loads of stuff. And that's not really guided. A piece of general information and advice for you guys, if you are using generic AI to help you with your chemistry, try and give it as much instruction as possible. Okay, especially the generic AI if you are going to use that, because it doesn't know what you want. This knows what you want. Okay, obviously you still got to explain it, but it's built to tutor. That is his one job in the entire world. Okay, and it's built to help you build study plans and stuff as well. But you know, tutor, it is built to be a tutor, so you have to work less, but still be specific. Tell it exactly what you want. So let's go. Understanding energy levels. Let's start there. So we got energy level 1, 2, 3 up to infinity. Key point: the further from the nucleus, the higher the energy level. If an electron moves from E1 to E2, does it gain or lose energy? So I put it gains energy. So what it's doing is what I asked it to do. It's basically testing, have I understood that first fact that it's given me? Brilliant, I've got it exactly right. So how do electrons get excited? Now in normal conditions, they sit in the lowest available energy levels. How do electrons gain energy? Well, one of those three things, okay? It's either heat, light, or electrical energy. They absorb this energy, they become excited. Quick check, if we heat sodium sample and an electron jumps from E1 to E3, what happened to the energy we put in? Where does it go? Well, where does that energy go? It is absorbed by the electron. I think that's what it wants me to say. I think that's where the energy goes. So again, if you've got questions, guys, please ask. All right, I'm here, literally sat here. If you put it into the chat, then I'll put it in. So, okay, got that right. What happens next? Well, they fall back down. They release energy in the form of light, photons. Quick check. If an electron falls from E4 to E1 compared to an electron falling from E2 to E1, which would release more energy? The first one. Because it's fallen further, right? Is that right? Nice. Okay. So now we got onto the next bit. So an electron gets excited, it goes to the top, it falls back down again, it releases that energy in the form of light. Different energy gaps, different colors. So big energy gaps, higher energy light, which means blue, violet. Small energy gaps, so small falls, lower light, red, orange. Okay, so different parts of the spectrum. And we get these fingerprint colors. There we go. If we heat an unknown sample and see a bright yellow line in the spectrum, what element do you think it contains? And why can we be so confident about this? Ooh, okay. So let's go. Well, I know it's sodium. We can be confident as no other element gives off that color. So again, you know, it's teaching you using similar questions to like the example. Okay, spot on, brilliant. Okay, so how emission spectroscopy works, boom, there it is. Just in a, you know, reviewing what we've done. And obviously you can be making notes on this as we go. Okay, so there are calculations involved. So I'll tell you what, here we go. What are the typical exam questions that get asked about this? So again, it's got access to all those past papers, it knows what it's doing. Can it help teach the more practical side of chemistry like double titrations? Jack, yes. WJ, I take it, Jack? Just confirm or deny in the chat for me. So, flame test, identification questions, multiple ion identifications, why flame tests work, energy level diagrams, draw an energy level diagram showing electron transitions that produce the visible light in sodium. So these are the most common types of questions. And if you want, it will write questions for you, of course. Okay, so WJ, let's just clear the decks here. Hey, Evan. So Jack, double titrations. What do you want to know, Jack? Like literally, what would you type in, buddy? If you had this at your disposal right now, what would you ask it? Hey guys, who's that? Who have we got here in YouTube in the comments? Hello, sir. That could be a number of different people. The name's not giving me any clues here. So Jack, what would you type? Like, WTF is a double titration? Like, what would we do? What would you ask? Would you maybe ask it to write you a double titration question? Do you want to know what one is and how it works? Or shall I start typing something? I'll start typing something, okay? What is a double titration and how does it work? Okay, a mix of what one is and an example to help me understand. Okay, so what is a double titration and how does it work? Use a common example to help explain, okay? That's basically what you said, Jack. In fact, let me just show you. While it's doing that, I can show you, if I go to AQA and go, do I need to know about double titrations? I'm very much hoping, because it does know, that it's not going to tell me. Because AQA do not need to know what a double titration is, okay? So, just while it's thinking about that, any practical, it knows all the required practicals. There you go. You do not need to know double titrations. What it do need to know is all these other titrations. So that's linked to pH and obviously like pH titration curves and stuff like that. So if we go back to WJ, there we go. So what is a double titration? Is where HCl is titrated against a mixture of sodium hydroxide and sodium carbonate. It's called a double titration because it's one titration carried out in 2 stages. The beauty of this technique is how sodium carbonate reacts with the acid in 2 stages. In the first titration, both bases react with the HCl. So you get both the NaOH and the Na2CO3, and these are the 2 equations. Notice the sodium carbonate only half reacts to form sodium hydrogen carbonate. Okay, so it's only using one of those sodiums. Okay, so it's only reacting with one HCl. And phenolphthalein is the endpoint when these are complete. So this is your color change, okay, for methyl orange. And then, of course, when we add methyl orange, we continue the titration, and then we get the rest of the sodium hydrogen carbonate reacting. So it shows you the calculation pathway, okay? And this is taken straight from the notes. So in order to calculate the answer for double titrations, it tells you how to do that step by step. Why use these methods, okay? I'll tell you what, we can just go, can you link to the notes on this? So let's put that in. So of course, if there was ever anything in there, Jack, that you didn't understand, that you wanted it to kind of go into more detail, then it absolutely would, okay? Because it's here, it's interactive. It's not just, you know, reading a paragraph in a textbook and going, well, I still don't understand. You can get it to teach you it in a different way. If you don't understand it first time round, then that's absolutely fine. So titrations, practical notes. So what this is doing now again is open up the PDF, and we've got our practical chemistry guide here. Okay, so how titrations, how to make up a solution, your 3 titration types that you need to know for WJEC, standard, back and double, and then here's all the full notes here. Okay, on how to kind of do a titration, what the calculation pathways are for each ones, how to do back titrations, okay, and all that jazz. There's your double titration here as well, okay. So, and the calculation pathway that goes in there. So, you know, it's not just about the AI, it's about the notes, it's about the videos that come with it, and everything else, okay? So if we go back, and let's go back to OCR. We're kind of neglecting OCR a little bit. Let's go, what required practicals do I need to know for A-level? There you go. So what it should do, if you want to make a list, if you just want to get your ducks in a row, if you want to kind of go, okay, like, okay, there's loads of practicals, but which ones, okay? So here we go. Excellent question. 12 required practicals, moles determination, acid-base titration. Here they all are, okay? So literally all of these. Colorimetry, preparation of buffer solutions. Okay, so it's taking these from the specification, but of course, if you want the link to the practical book for all these, then absolutely you can as well. Last thing I would say is, which of these is most commonly examined? So again, I'll tell you what, let's not even do that. What we really want to know is this, okay? Give me a priority list for revision of these based on how commonly they are examined. So in other words, like, which one do I need to prioritize? Which one comes up the least? So again, you know, commonality doesn't mean we can predict. If anybody tells you that they're predicting the paper for next summer, they're just playing the law of averages, okay? But the thing is, if you flip a coin 5 times and get 5 heads, are you more likely to get a head on the 6 or a tail on the 6? You know, that's statistics. They're not related, okay? There are most commonly examined topics, yes, and you can basically rely on those, but can you predict what's going to be in the paper? No. Here we go. Obviously, PAG 2, acid-base titration, top, moles determination, second, and enthalpy determination, third. So these are your high priority ones if you want to prioritize your revision, then medium, and then obviously lower priority, okay? But obviously, if you're going to get an A star, you need to make sure you're across all of these, okay? That's the thing. So, last thing I'll say tonight, folks, is that this is free for you to play with. Head on over to chemistrycoach.co.uk. It is limited to certain topics. Tell it which exam board you are, AQA, OCR, or WJEC. It will tell you which topics that it's good for. What it will teach you is just those topics. If you try to go beyond that, it'd be like, nope, because it is just a trial version after all. It doesn't have access the same way as the full one does to all the exam practice and stuff like that. It will write exam questions for you, but it's not as specific or precise as the actual one, okay? So if you want access to this, if you want access to all the resources, and I'll do tutorials as well, like live group tutorials, then all you have to do is join, okay? You can join as an AS student, okay, and get access to the AS chemistry tutor, or you can join as an A-level student, okay? So there's 2 different price brackets there. There's no subscription, it's just one payment, like, done, and you've got access for the rest of the year, all right? So I thought it was better that way, and it's basically like a bit of an early bird thing, because I think after Christmas it's going to be go into that subscription model in terms of months. I think I'm playing with the idea, I don't know, but if you want access now, that's all you have to do, okay? So thanks so much for listening, guys. I appreciate it, and you know, I'll be doing these every now and again, but you know, if you want any general advice on how to attack A-level chemistry, how to revise A-level chemistry, on any particular topic, whenever you see me live, please just ask away. That's what I'm here to do, just to show you how Chemistry Coach can help you by being just your personal kind of confidant. We'll teach you in any way that you want to learn, completely non-judgmental, accessible 24/7, with all my 20 years of experience kind of uploaded into it, and access to all those videos and notes and flashcards and question packs and all that stuff. So yeah, if you've got any questions, hit me up at chemistrycoach.co.uk or get in touch with me in my DMs, and I will see you online again at some point soon. See you later.